Hey guys, this is the $7 to $100 million podcast. I'm your host, Tim Warren. I am joined by Danielle Sfire. She is a soccer expert and accurately predicted that Spain was going to win. She won millions of dollars on Polybet. Wait, what's the Polybet website? Is that the website?
Yes.
Polybet? Yep.
Yep.
You know, I even come into work today.
And still showed up for work because I just love it here.
To work because she loves it here. Paul DeMott, who is a golfing expert, but he's really known for his underwater painting skills. Incredibly talented at underwater art. Paul DeMott, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks. Yeah, I did some cool pieces this week in my swimming pool. So
we gotta when our video quality is better here. So in case you guys are watching and wondering, why does your video quality suck? Well, when you run businesses, you'll have challenges to face. One of those is we bought two internet providers to make sure we always had uptime. One said, yeah, it's great. Cincy Bell was like, or Altify or whatever. Yeah, it's great. We'll get you guys hooked up. It'll be fine. Then we buy Spectrum just to make sure. Both of the internet suck and it is very slow. Then they blame each other. And then the other service providers, everybody's pointing fingers and blaming. So here's the solution we're going to use. We're just going to threaten to cancel with everybody, including the internet provider, if they can't come fix it this week. And we'll see who actually cares enough to fight for the business. So that's the solution we're going to use. When in doubt, just be more aggro, I think, in business, and people will actually get stuff done versus not caring and just hoping the problem goes away. So, guys, this week, let's talk a little bit about our strategy this week. So, on the 7 to 100 podcast, this documenting our journey of what we have to do to get from 7 million to 100 million, how we build the brand. So, just real high level. For those who are listening in the audience, probably most people in the audience are business owners looking to grow their businesses, people looking to start businesses, like they have an idea, that's a concept, maybe they're a weekend warrior, they're building stuff on the weekend at nights, but they haven't yet gone full time. So I think that's kind of our audience. So let's just talk about what we need to be doing this week, right? Let's prioritize our week, and then we can kind of dig into the details. I'll kick off. So what I've realized, Paul, is as we've been building our sales team, right? I think we've done a lot of things right. I think we have some great people. I think we have some good sales skills, all that. But as I've been watching Hormozi's stuff on sales, what I realize is that he has a very calculated process of taking somebody from, I have not made a decision to even make a decision, to I've decided to decide, to I've decided to pick you or not pick you. I've decided why not. I've decided to decide now. So he has this whole framework. He calls it peeling back the onion, where first people blame their circumstances. Then they blame the circumstances. Well, I mean, our last SEO firm did a bad job, and now we don't have enough money to buy a new SEO firm. Oh man, that's really bad. Sorry to hear about that. Well, what can we change that now? Well, but my business partner won't let me make any decisions. And okay. Well, what if you could just decide on your own? And then finally self. Well, I just don't believe it's going to work. There's the real objection. There's the real problem, right? And so he says it's this onion. They go from circumstances to others to self. And then your goal in sales is to get them to own the problem, because then they don't lose the power to solve it, right? Because if it's like, well, it's not I can't fix it, then you can't solve it either, right? So what I'm doing this week is I'm going to go back and rebuild our sales handbook to get all this stuff in there, which are what are the obstacles people give, which is the reasons before you show the price. The objections are the problem, the reasons they show after you show the price, right? Like the reasons I'm not going to buy. So let's get really good at those. Let's get a cadence down for how we're going to drill those with the sales team. And then let's get all of this in the handbook so they can just study it over and over and over again.
Anything we add to the handbook, we can add to a scorecard that we run the transcripts through. So then it evaluates the transcript via
Claude.
The scorecard. Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, so then my goal, Paul, the goal is going to be to have this framework, so like the closer framework and all these different pieces. And then we'll know exactly how we take cold traffic to purchased lead, right? Hormozi also says to build your funnels based on totally cold traffic, because if it works for cold, it'll work for warm and referrals and everything else. But if you only build your funnel to work for warm, it won't work for cold. So it's like a really good moniker. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to be thinking through as we do this, what are the things we can do in the pre-sales process and in the sale process to just build tons of trust, so people trust and then they're coming because they want to solve the problem. And then, right, couple of things that I'm not sure how to solve yet, but I wrote down. Number one, he said, if you're selling high ticket, you want to be so expensive that there's a gasp when you show the price. I was like, oh, snap. He's like, if you're not getting gasped, you're not going high enough. So that's one thing that I'm nervous, just super transparently, I'm nervous about. Oh, geez, like, ugh, how high do we want to go, right? I get his whole point, like the wine example from before, like the more expensive.
He's anchoring, yeah.
Yeah, you price anchor him, you can always come down, he can't go up. The more expensive the wine, the better people thought it tastes. I get all those points. The other thing, I actually thought about this over the weekend. If we doubled our prices without doubling the work we add, we would way more than double our profit. Right? So imagine that the widget costs $100.
Conversion rate though stays the same though.
Only, yeah, right. Obviously, yeah. But like, I was thinking about if you have a widget that's $100, and let's say we make $10 in profit. But then we sell it for $200, but the widget still is the same cost to make. Now we make $110 in profit, right? That is, what is that? 11x the profit. And so that's why Hormozi preaches like doubling your prices and just keep pushing prices, is because you don't actually increase your cost of delivery, right? And even if you decrease your conversion rate, you massively increase the profit because it's the amount someone pays you versus how much it costs. So I think these are all things that we're going to need to play around with, and we're going to need to like confirm and test with our business is to find out like what level do people gasp. Then the other thing, Paul, that I wanted to talk about with you today and brainstorm on this pod was pricing strategies, thinking about what is the very, very ideal way for us to roll out our pricing. Because I was thinking about SaaS websites. Like over the weekend, I was like sitting in church and I was like thinking about pricing strategies. I was thinking about it earlier that morning, and I was like, all right, probably not the best time to think about pricing strategies. I know, I'm sorry. But I was like, it was like still filtering in from that morning. I was thinking about pricing. I was like, you know what? SaaS companies do this all the time, right? SaaS companies are like, hey, here's the, you click on the yearly thing, and it's like, here's the price for the year, right? But here's the price for monthly, and it's more expensive every month. But they still make you sign a 12-month contract either way, right? Like this whole HubSpot thing that we're talking about. And so then it's like, oh, okay. So there are people already used to seeing that. So then I was thinking, well, what if we showed our prices, Paul, as like, let's say it's $10,000 a month. Okay. We pitch somebody. What if we just showed it as this is $120,000? And they're like, oh, wow. Okay. Is that per month? No, that's for the whole year. They're like, oh, well, that's not as bad. Right. And it's like, yeah, well, this is this. And then what if we had this is the price for the year for the program that you need? And then what if it was like, hey, if you pay up front in one payment, we'll give you $15,000 off, right? You can get it for $105. Like, oh, wow. Okay. That's nice. Right. And then, so like what if we price anchored there and then broke it down and then say, or you can pay monthly, but if you pay monthly, it costs more. You have to, instead of $10,000 a month, it's like $11,500 because it's no contract and blah, 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 blah. Right. So what if we just built in margin by charging monthly, but the whole thing is the anchor price we show is just the yearly price of the thing we're already doing. You get where I'm going with this? Like how could we organize this so people, it's like achieves the gasp and the anchoring, and some people just pay in full, some people pay up front, but without having to like rework all of our pricing.
Well, I guess the question would be, I mean, if you just like everybody translates digital marketing services into monthly rate. So let's just say, imagine you say 120, and then they're like, okay, well, divide that by 12, that's 10,000 a month. And right. So like, is it really a different price at that point? Or is it just because I could also translate it to minutes, like this is the cost per minute. Like it seems like it actually kind of does the opposite in this scenario. Like, because if I was like, take like, say something's $30 a month, and I was like, well, imagine that's like 1 cup of coffee a day. Like that's right. 1 cup of coffee a day sounds reasonable, but when you hear the whole price at the end, it might sound like a lot. So it feels like it's kind of counter to the typical advice, which is like making it more digestible in smaller pieces. And then I don't know if it would achieve the gasp, because I think people would just instantly translate it to what that would mean on a monthly cost basis. I could be wrong,
all right.
But
No, that's why I want to talk through with you, because I didn't have like a perfect idea. I was just thinking through frameworks. The other thing we could do too is just try to steal. Like I was thinking about cars. So BMW does this, right? They always anchor with the highest price. Like, here's the car, it's $85,212, right? Like that's the price of the sticker on the window. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then you go over to the salesman and they're like, all right, how do you want to pay for it? Like, do you want to pay cash? There are people who pay cash, right?
Yeah.
They don't put the monthly amount of the lease or the buy. They just put the full price of the car. And I think that's because you expect you can lease it or you can buy it, but also your credit score and your credit score and all that stuff will affect the number, right?
Yeah.
But people are like used to that with a car. So that's why I wanted to try to think through this with you guys. Like, first thing
what about like growth? I'm just thinking of an example recently. So Wikipedia or whatever, they sort of anchored at $12,000 a month. So then everything less than that sounded like, oh, well, because you start to like build the space in your mind for like, well, what if it's $12,000 a month? But then when you're like, oh, well, I could actually do it for 4,000. Now 4,000 doesn't sound crazy at all. It actually sounds like, oh, that's like
sounds really
easier.
low.
So what if we just had what if we just pitched them a higher number at the beginning? We pitch people bigger packages, and then have like, well, we have some alternatives too.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I think that like I experienced that. Because like, I don't know, if we think about it, it's like 4,000. If they would have just been like 4,000 out of the gates, it would feel really different than if they're like 12,000. And then you start to think, oh, well, if we did this, like, is it worth it? Like, and then you start to make some space for it in your mind. You start thinking about what you could cut to, and then when it's like 4,000, oh, no big deal at all. I've already, it's like one of those TikTok videos of like how men do mental math or how women do mental math. Like, oh, I was going to buy this, but since I didn't, I saved the money, and now I'm going to buy this other thing instead. And it's like, well, you actually never saved money there.
You never saved money because you're just spending it anyway.
Just spending money, yeah.
I do agree that is a true way that I do math. So
yeah. No, yeah.
And since I don't really want the thing and I'm going to send it back for a refund, but I haven't yet, then I can actually buy this other thing too. Yes. Yeah. That's spending money you don't have. Okay. So do you think, Paul, this is just a question. So you think maybe showing the yearly number, because I was wondering if we showed the yearly number and we had some kind of pay in full discount, right? Like prepay discount kind of thing. Are we losing the maybe 10% of people who are just like, yeah, I'll pay in full to get a discount, a number, right? And then we get all the cash up front.
Well, yeah, there's absolutely no reason not to. I mean, it's not like it causes any harm. Like if we say that's the only way to buy it, then yeah, we'd probably start losing.
That would cause harm. Yeah, that would cause harm. Yeah. So that was just one thing I thought I had was, so let's say the $10,000 a month example, right? So what if we just rolled it out and we said, all right, so you need this and this and this, and here's the stuff, and here's the SEO and the ads campaign and whatever. Okay, it's 120 grand, right? And then the person's like, oh, okay, good. It's high enough. We got to gasp. Like, okay, wow. It's like, well, yeah. But then we overcome the price objections, whatever. So let's say that we have now where they're like, okay, that makes sense. I understand the price, and but hey, don't forget, we're gonna drive 6x that. So if you pay us 120 grand, we're going to drive, right, 700, whatever that is, $750,000+ in revenue. So you can only spend this if we can drive that. If we can't drive that, then you shouldn't spend this, right? So we work through that. So let's just assume that the client is like, they understand the price, right? They're trying to decide. Then we could show the 120. We could say, hey, but if you pay in full, you get 15,000 off, right? And I think we do a fixed number, not a percentage, because a percentage would wreck margins. It's just a fixed number off, right? It doesn't have to be like 20% because it would kill margins. So you say, hey, you get this fixed number off. So if you're going to do the whole thing with us anyway, you could save all this money, right? Or if you want to pay quarterly, right? You get this much off if you pay quarterly, or if you pay monthly, you don't get anything off and you have to pay the whatever full amount monthly or whatever, or it's a little bit more expensive monthly. So we give people like 3 different options. I thought that was one other way we could do it, trying to drive people to pay less frequently so we get less churn, right?
I also really I think quarterly payments are like something that's way more feasible for a lot of businesses. And so it seems like we should have that as an option as well.
And do we want to incentivize them to pay quarterly?
I think so, because I do agree with Hermosi's point that like every time someone pays, they're evaluating you on that last payment. So like if you have to pay every single day, you're going to be like, what did I get for my $10 today?
Right. I agree.
And so I think like we could incentivize. I think the core thing is just like if we can kind of project the impact on churn from that, and then the impact on lifetime gross profit from that customer, and then we just give a discount where we're still, making a lot more money because of the impact of gross profit over the lifetime. So we'd have to pull up those numbers of like what the churn drop is if you get quarterly payments, but then we can just give some of that back to the customer if they agree to that payment structure.
Does Hormozy have any recommendations? We might need to look this up through like the GPT or whatever, but maybe we could scrape it with AI. Does he have any recommendations on what to fix in what order? Right? Because
so that was going to be like one of my thoughts is like, let's just say today, like we were to change pricing. So we're going to work on the sales team of like closing deals, but like that's a fairly large variable. So what if it hurt close rate and then it like interferes with our ability to evaluate the other changes that we're making or the lead quality and stuff like that? So, I mean, I don't know. I think I could look it up. Like, does he have a specific recommendation? But it does feel like one of those, it's like a, million BBs, you have to hit them at the right time type thing. And is it the largest constraint that's stopping us right now from closing business? But you can also still change some stuff at the same time without causing any harm, obviously.
Yeah, and let's think through it a little bit. Maybe we can bring Sean into the conversation too, because I think what I'm thinking from a pricing standpoint is what we have seen is when we have significantly higher price, like our biggest customers who spend the most, they stay the longest, they are the happiest, they're the easiest to deal with, and we make the most money, right? So what we found is like the higher end ones are the best. The lower end ones are generally the least happy, perform the worst, and stay the shortest. So what I'm thinking, Paul, is we already have data that suggests that the gasp and the high price is the play, but we have to really prove the value so that people want to buy it, right?
Well, I'd be curious if those are gasp price, if those prices are actually gasp prices to that ICP, because like those instances, like you got like a multi-billion-dollar company that owns 55% of the market share, then GeneSight's also a massive company. So to them, I actually think like the prices there are like, drops in the bucket actually. But like if you were to give that price to a home service company, they would gasp. And they also would potentially go bankrupt like after a couple months of not having enough leads to pay for it. So that's the kind of the tricky thing there.
So for that giant manufacturer you're talking about, like the $1 billion manufacturer we do work for, and then that huge plumbing franchise we closed, I think in both cases we came in over their budget, right? For the plumbing franchise, we were triple the budget they had. And for the other company, we were larger than the budget, but they liked us enough to tell us like, hey, we really like you guys. You're in the ballpark, but you got to come down by like $5,000 a month or $6,000 a month or whatever. And then we did, and we got the deal done. But I agree with you. Like the gasp, they got one quote that was like $80,000 a month. Remember that Nicole told us? Right. Yeah. And we were like 80, or like it was like 60 or 80. And it was like, geez, what would they even need that much money for? What would they do?
Yeah, so they actually went for the gasp there, and it like backfired because they got like from the equation.
Yeah, because they were just so high, right? They were just it was exactly what you said. They're like, this is a massive company with 55% of the market share. Like, let's just go super high, and then they just dumpstered themselves because they went so high. So I mean, that's a good point. The gasp will decrease close rate. Right, it's going to decrease close rate, right? Because it's going to be so much more expensive.
My bigger concern, like I don't care so much, like it's just like as long as the numbers work out. But if we're changing 10 things at the same time and then close rate like drops, what caused the drop at that point? We wouldn't know.
What do you think about this idea? We should probably focus on close rate, improving the rep's ability to get people to close, like really become epic closers. because that skill is going to be needed no matter what, and it'll be easier to do if the product is cheaper than if the product's really expensive, right? Because more people will be able to afford it. So let's become like epic closers. Let's get our close rate to like 40-50%, like really good. Then we know that's not the variable at play. Then I think we mess with pricing, right? Then if we can just raise the price and go to where, and then
we can watch, like, did close rate change positively or negatively? How much is it worth it? Should we, it's like, because maybe it's okay to drop by 50% in close rate if we're closing way higher deals, you know, like if every deal we close is 10 to 15,000, we only need to close like a few of those a month to hit our target. So right. I agreed. Yeah.
Oh, that's also a good idea. We could just come back. So we set this target of 50,000 per month in MRR because we did the math. If we do that, we'll double our business. So we could just set that as the target. Oh, that's a good idea. Why don't we hit the target first? Like let's hit the target, like focus on close rate. Once we've hit the target, then we can start messing with stuff, right? Because we know how to hit the target. But then we start screwing with stuff. But here's a couple ideas I had. One is we focus on close rate first. Then we focus on like pricing. Then we focus on delivery, right? And what I mean by delivery is like, hey, here's the big upfront year, and then you can prepay, and then you can like messing around with payment terms, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Because actually, I think I was looking at like payback, and I do want to get payback period in the dashboard as well, because I can pull it from Facebook and Google. But like I think we've closed, like we're almost 1-to-1 on payback this month. I mean, so which is really good with our current process.
Cash collected 30-day payback, or over
on ad spend, 30-day on ad spend, cash collected 30-day on ad spend. Yeah, like we're not really that far off. We might even be in the positive right now on cash collect. I mean, like it's not like we have proposals where I don't know that they've paid yet, but like if you sum up the total of like agreed revenue, like I think we are ahead of our costs right now on the monthly basis.
Okay, I mean, we can get 30 days payback, then it's customer funded growth, right?
Right. Yeah. Now I think we're benefiting from pipeline that like predated all of our ads efforts, but still, and I still think like we're still working a lot of new leads that have come in from those ads efforts that should pay out in future months. So so I think we're in a good spot there, but I want to actually track that as well, and cost per meeting, because I should be able to grab that as well.
The other thing, Paul, we can do is on any leads I take as like an owner, I can play around with stuff, right? Because I can be the skunk works, like test guinea pig or whatever, where I test the like pay up front and the pay in full. We can test different prices and whatever. And it's like, if I can't get it closed, it probably won't close for the reps, right? So
that's a great idea. Yeah.
So that's one thing we could do, I guess, if we want to think about like a strategy, is we focus on close rate, then we focus on price. Along the way, I'll be just testing and trying things, because if I make mistakes and lose the lead, like it's my own fault, right? It's our money, right? Versus the reps like not closing. So I think that's a good play, and then that could give us some data points as to like how we could do this. But I'm just thinking out loud. I think we should try to always work backwards from profit. So not what will close the most business, but what will make us the most money, right? Like how would we make the most money? And I really like this idea of doubling the price without doubling the work, because you will way more than double the profit, right? Even if you decrease your close rate, right? And then here's my thinking, Paul. My thinking was, well, if we promise a 6x ROI, like return, 600% ROI to clients, we should look at any client that's getting more than a 12x return. And in that case, we could have doubled the price and still hit the guarantee, right? But doubling the price probably 5x is the profit. So that's something we should like look at and play around with, is how do we create pricing structures that drive profit? Because more profit means more ads, which means more people hearing about us, which means more people coming in, which means, and that's how Hormozy went from 400,000 a month to $1 million a week in like 2 years, is exactly this stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk ads. So Paul, what's on your agenda? What are you seeing from ads?
I'll just share what I've started to put together this weekend. Nothing, no like major new insights and stuff, but I'm trying to put together a like document today of everything that we've learned from the current Facebook ads.
Okay.
Also like what creative should we build next? So I should have that later today. So then this week we'll have a calendar of what more we need to build. But we've run a lot of tests. I think one thing that kind of sucks is I think some of the videos that have actually done really well were just in the wrong aspect ratio. So like they won't serve to Instagram. And I think the quality wasn't like because of the phone or whatever, the quality wasn't exactly right. So we may have to reshoot a couple.
So I have two on my phone. I shot them on my phone. I have like the native camera app, but then I downloaded an app called Blackmagic, which is like professional videographer one. That's what I originally used, but the internet in our office is so slow that I was like, I'm gonna use the lower end one and see if this works. And that's what I used, and apparently it does not work. So good. That's a good lesson learned.
Yeah. Hopefully get the internet solved soon.
Paul, can you, we're going to get solved. Paul, can you send me which videos did the best and I will reshoot those? I can just reshoot those and I'll reshoot them with the Blackmagic app and it'll be better quality.
Yep. I'm going to make a spreadsheet today that's going to like track everything that we're doing, what we need to create. And then we can use that like on a weekly basis too. And what we've tested, what we haven't tested. So one thing I did add is the purpose of what I'm trying to build is I'm trying to understand like when we do meet with people, how often is it a good opportunity and that we could actually make money from? Because like we are clearly running a lot more meetings. Actually, let me open that in another view. And I also was trying to figure out like where are there gaps in our data where we probably should make some improvement. So I also added this so it's really clear on a monthly basis like what our MRR number is. So you can see like we're at 25 so far. I'm working on a pipeline projection thing as well. This is forecasting a pipeline projection of like what will close. Where is this though? There's kind of like two. I came up with this idea of like, let's look at first meetings separated from second meeting follow-ups, because second meeting follow-ups are really the thing that probably results closer to sales, because we probably are going to do a lot like low budget pre-audit meetings that don't go anywhere. Right. So we can see, I think this is just, I might need to look at a larger date, so I wouldn't worry about this one, but like we are seeing total meetings held per day as a team go up quite a bit. Like the weekend caused the dip, but like overall meetings per day by the team is like 4-ish right now. But then we can see the thing that's really good right now is like first meetings are up, but second meetings are starting to follow too. So second meetings are where proposals happen and you know, those types of steps take place. For that reason, what I wanted to understand is for each marketing channel, like how often are the first meetings running versus the second meetings. So for paid social on these 170 conversions, we booked 25 meetings. We've ran 13 so far, and then 4 of those have had second meetings. So, and then we can get disqualified by channel and stuff. But what's really interesting right now is that paid social is actually outperforming Google, which I don't think would have been true a couple of years ago. So that's cool. And then we can also look at it by contact. So we can see like who ran a second meeting, who was a no-show that never rebooked. So we probably want like the SDRs reaching back out to these people if they're good to see which ones we could actually get to, because they said they would come to the meeting, but then they didn't show to the meeting. But then the other piece that I'm trying to include is I had Claude look at like every data point that we've looked at so far in HubSpot, and there was 2 questions I asked. One, like what would Hormozy track that we're not tracking? And so I'm working on implementing that stuff. So one is like payback period, cost per meeting. There's a couple other ones in there. LTV, PG,
lifetime gross profit, LTGP.
But like we don't really have in this dashboard. I can't really pull that at the moment. But the one thing that it said we are not doing right now that is making it hard to understand the data is writing the outcome of the meetings that are happening. So Danielle, this is actually what I wanted to talk to you about. Well, actually, there's 2 things. So one, our team, so we don't have a process today where a meeting happens and the sales rep is always like leaving like a note of like, what was the outcome of that? Were they disqualified? Was the budget too high? Was it really good, a good fit? And you're going to do another meeting. So there's all these meetings that have taken place, and I just have to guess that the meeting didn't go well because there was nothing else that ever followed. So I made this hygiene tab so that the sales reps can just like go in and mark these, and then they just check it off and it'll disappear. But so the one thing was no meeting outcome data, which is just makes it harder for us to understand what's actually happening in these meetings, and are they good, are they bad? And then the other one is stale deals, and like, why did the deal not close? I think it could be a good exercise for the sales reps to think about, like, why did this deal not close? Like, is a proposal that's been out for 36 days. This one's been out for 41 days. So just adding a note, like, this one didn't close because of XYZ reason. So then over time, we can start to like collect that and like make some, we can look at like, why are we losing closed deals as well? I mean, it's always a little bit of a guess on the rep's part, but I added this because I think this is like the big like data point we don't have is like, let's say we start generating tons of leads that turn into meetings, but they're all like these tiny budget meetings that aren't going anywhere. I want to know that as soon as possible so that we can like make adjustments to the ads.
So I love this. I already have this in HubSpot as a process. Like it triggers the task reminder for the rep. So if they're not doing it in HubSpot, my thing is, how am I going to also get them to do it on this sheet?
Since they already have this sheet can be insights into how many times did each rep not do it, and then it's very easy to go through and then look at like, oh, I didn't leave an outcome. So this is just a way that we can monitor it, because otherwise I think it's really tough to like know, like, because they are sometimes doing this and they're sometimes not doing it. From here we can really like, I think the goal should just be like, you keep this around 0.
Because I have a master task list that has this already listed in HubSpot. So that's what I'm saying is, they need to check it off in HubSpot to do it, in order for it also to be checked off here. So that's my only thought process there, because we definitely need this information. So
maybe we could just we could just send out a spreadsheet and be like, here are 4 reasons that you can mark, and just like, let's get all of this to 0 and then start the habit going forward. Because right now it's like everyone's kind of like deep in a hole that they have to dig. But we can also help them get this to 0, and then going forward, we know if they like forget to do it, and then we can just like say, hey, notice you forgot to leave notes on this one. Like, I can watch that and then just like shoot them notes and stuff. So we probably help them get this to 0, because it's gonna be a lot of work to think through like what happened in these meetings. More recent ones are a lot easier. Because all of this is the whole purpose of all this right now is like, we're getting a lot of leads. Like, I think if we looked at the weekend, like we had 16 leads yesterday, 15 leads the day before, 18 leads. Those are conversions. I'll use that terminology. 13, 18, 15, 16. So my suspicion is that a lot of these are small budget, and I've seen that in the data too. But I want to make sure that like, we're scheduling these meetings. Are they actually like, do we need to ever change stuff in ads? Are we like, I think a concern is like, if we get too many meetings with small budget clients, now all of a sudden their time gets shifted away from the good leads. So I just want to have metrics that like we can really keep a pulse on that.
Paul, I'll give some feedback on the data that I saw. I worked over the weekend. I worked a bunch of leads, and they did like just come in, and a decent amount of them, we'll have to see if I actually get like text and email responses. But a decent amount of them are like pretty small businesses. Like one booked directly with me, and then a lot of them are small companies. So we are getting a bunch of leads, and then some of them like looked like decent companies, but I can't tell. I can't see revenue, right? And then they just come in with like a Gmail, but then you actually go to their company website. It's like a real company, right? It's like, oh, okay. Some of them look decent, but they don't have a lot of organic traffic, which is not the only measure, right? But just, a lot of them are small, but some of them are good. So I think what I would say, if I had to throw out there one thing to fix, I do agree at the moment it's good for the reps to be busy. One thing that I'm going to teach them today is use the smaller leads as practice for these closing frameworks and use it as practice to get good, right?
And Noble too.
And
sell Noble. We probably have a lot. I mean, we did imagine 100 customers on Noble.
That's really profitable.
It's not crazy. Yeah.
100%. So we need to be selling Noble, but use these customers if they're small leads or conversions that don't have the budget. Use them as practice to get really good at closing, because it doesn't matter if you close or not on the leads that are probably too small to buy. But I think, Paul, if I had to say the one thing that for like, if you could fix for us that would be better than anything else, is the more of the conversions coming in being real leads that actually have our budget. That's probably the number one thing, because there's still a lot of people that come in that are just like, low quality Gmails, below $500 budgets. Like, there's a lot of that. So whatever we can do to up that across Google or Facebook and Meta, Google and Meta, would be really important.
Yeah, and it's kind of a longer process, and I am working on it from like multiple angles, like showing which ads are generating better leads. Like, you can kind of see, though, at the moment there's not like clear patterns. Everything kind of produces a little bit of good and a lot of bad. So, but looking at that, and then I am going to change which algorithms we communicate back to both Google and Facebook. Sorry, which leads we tell Google count towards their total, and which ones we don't, because I want to start cutting out bad and then just including everything else that we get. So we should see it improve over time, but it will take some time. I also added this tab, by the way, which shows for everything in proposal, you can see how many times the deal is touched and like what happened. So you just click on it, and then you can see like here all the steps with these people. I think I added this to closed one also, so you can like click into any deal and see like how did we work it. So the other thing I'm trying to figure out is like good deals, like how many meetings do we have, how many touch points do we have. So if you look at closed one, you kind of see like probably an average of like 20 touch points today. Now this one actually only 8 touch points and 1 meeting that was recorded, at least.
That's actually really interesting.
So that one's interesting. Yeah.
Okay. So let's do this as next steps. I agree. Let's stop feeding back let's feed back in so that Meta and Google know the bad leads are bad leads, and try to get more and more of the good leads. And then I think, Paul, like, as we let's just keep pouring more money into this and just keep getting. It seems like for every dollar we spend, we're gonna get some best, some good, some not bad, a lot of bad, but it's just like going to be part of the process, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll work with, so if you can be upping budgets and continuing to work with the algorithm to try to feed more of the like best and good leads, I think a couple changes we should make. Number one, so Danielle's going to go back and work with the reps on the meeting outcomes. But I think, Paul, moving forward, with this new closing framework, I think we're going to have a very simple process that should make this clear. Number one is it's BAM fam. So if a client will not book another meeting, if there's not another meeting scheduled on the books, that deal is dead, right? Because if they won't BAM fam with you, they won't book a meeting from a meeting with you, they aren't going to buy. They don't want to buy. So I think we need to have some like very simple frameworks where it's like, if you invite a girl on a date and she says no to the date, you're not dating, right? Yeah, like, well, it's my girlfriend. No, she's not dating you. You might be dating her, but she's not also dating you, which is not your girlfriend. Right?
Yeah, you just went on a date. You're not dating. Yeah, if you don't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. That's like, we're dating. No, you went on a date and now she's not texting you back, which means you're not dating.
You're getting ghosted at this point. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, that's right. You're just lonely. So I think with the reps, it's what I would say if we can just make some simple, like, I don't know if we can do this in HubSpot or Go High Level like frameworks, but if there isn't another meeting booked on the calendar, there's been meetings and now there's not another meeting booked, I would almost mark that that would just automatically mark that as dead, right? Like that's a close lost, right? Number two is I'm going to be working to shorten the time frame of when of deals, by pushing every meeting to make a decision. Yes, we're continuing to move forward. No, I don't want to move forward, and this is why. And they're not changing their mind.
I like
so
that.
it's not on the fence, right? So the Hormozy stuff that I'm working on this morning is he talks about in today. So he says, do you want to solve this problem? Yes. What are your reasons for solving this problem? This, and this. Great. So then today, all I'm here to do as a sales rep is help you make a decision to help yourself. If this product doesn't help you, we shouldn't do it. If this is not the right product, we shouldn't do it. But that's my whole objective here. So what he tries to do is in the proposal meeting, he's trying to get the person to decide to help themselves. And then he tries to frame his product as this will help you solve this problem, whatever the problem is. So I think what we should have moving forward, Paul, is we should have quicker closing cycles. We should have we'll have way fewer deals that are out there that are lingering, right? Like it's either it's like, right, we're closing, like it's closed, there's a bam-fammed meeting, or it's dead. Those are the only three conditions. It cannot be on life support or somewhat surviving or pending timing. It's just like it's closed, it's bam-fam, it's dead, right? That should make it simple for us.
Yep. Actually, on your point here, this is one thing that came back on my AI question about Hormozy, what you would look at. Something he said that it said that I thought was an interesting idea is it said, look at proposals that have stalled and what activity has happened since they have stalled. So here's so I kind of added this to the dashboard already, but so I have the ones labeled stalled. So which basically means a proposal was sent and 14 days have happened, plus, in this case, it's been idle for 32 days. And then we can click and see, well, what's actually happened? Because one thing Hormozy says, sometimes these deals can be brought back to life. And the reason they're dying is because communication just stops at some point. So I want to see if we can see on this one, this one goes way back to
February 5th.
Yeah. And then so there was let's see if there's an email. So here's a scheduled meeting. This is probably the proposal meeting. Then it's ready to sign DocuSign. Here's a next steps with Helium meeting. But then I don't see a lot of stuff like text messaging, calling, and maybe that's because I'm not pulling it in. I might need to look at if I can get that in. But a good question would be once a proposal goes out, what's our process to get to no or yes? Because what it seems like today is that it's left in the client's hands, and our team does reach back out, but we saw a couple of the ones where it's like, hey, can you jump on a call this week? And then they just ghosted. And no matter what, we're gonna get ghosted sometimes, but are there improved action steps we can take once it's out to get them to say yes faster? It's an interesting lens to look through. I don't want to add too much new stuff because we're already working on so many changes, but it's at least worth looking into. Here's another stalled one, idle for 24 days. And these are good sales, 3,100, 3,900.
I think look at that one. So 32 touch, 2 meetings, 26 touch, 2 meetings.
Look at this one, 117 touches, 1 meeting. This is probably one that we called.
That was probably Concert. Just got called a million times. The Concert just never answered. And
so I ran a proposal.
Paul. So I think, on this one, I think some of these historical deals, there was a lot of outreach, and then just proposals were sent over. Decision was never decided to be made, even by the client. And then they're listed as stalled, but they just we just sent them some pricing. It's no different than if you went to a website and you were like, what's this tool cost? But you were never serious about really making the decision. I think we have a bunch of these. We have a bunch of those. So those are probably all dead. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't get them back to life, but it's going to have to be a new sale, essentially, right?
Yeah.
It has to be a new sale, because the decision was never made. So moving forward, we should be able to fix that, because we're going to be always pushing for a decision or bam fam. So we should be able to fix the closing percentage and the speed to close. But we're not going to be doing it this way anymore, as I guess what I'm saying. Right?
Yeah, well, I think too, like I had estimated about 35% of the proposals we sent based off the phone calls were just, crap shot proposals. Like they didn't express interest, but we still were like, hey, we'll send you a proposal anyway. So, I mean, like some of these are just that, like they're probably like not interested, but they're like, I'll check out the pricing basically. And so those are worth investing in.
Here's an idea I'd like to have your guys' thoughts on. How do we make it easier for people to start? Right? Meaning, so take my deal on Friday that I sold, right? Literally like one call close, one Zoom meeting, went from never knowing this guy at 11 a.m. on a Friday to 8 p.m. signed DocuSign. Like, how did that happen? Well, there was a transference of trust. There was a desire on his end to grow. I showed him the data that he's really not getting the 10 grand a month he's paying for. And I wasn't aiming to be cheaper, but we're actually cheaper, right? Which was like, oh, I was like, you're paying way too much for what you're getting. And he's like, I'm switching to you guys. Oh, sweet. Now, and then it was like, hey, are you in a contract? He's like, I don't actually know. Right? He's like, I have to go see if I'm in a contract and whatever. And they're like, he like didn't even know. He wasn't even ready to make the decision. But here's the thing. Here's what I realized. I needed to close him out there, right? I needed to just get the deal done then. And here's what I should have done. I still got the deal closed, but I did it. We shouldn't do it this way. It could have been better. When he was like, I want to switch to you guys. Here's what I should have said. Well, hey, Vincent, here's the great news. We got a 30-day money-back guarantee. So sign up with me. If you find out you're stuck in a contract, you can't switch, you can't whatever, they own your firstborn child, and you literally can't ever whatever. Call me back. We'll tear up the contract, and you're not stuck, brother. But let's just get this thing moving because you want to get this fixed, right? I want to get this thing fixed. Cool. Let's get you going. And look, if you're totally stuck, call me back. We'll tear it up. We'll take care of you. So then the decision's made. He's like, yeah, let's do it, right? Because the emotions are high, and he's like, I'm in, right? That's when you need to land the plane, right? Like, let's land the plane. So Danielle, Paul, give me some thoughts. How could we, because then what we do now is like, okay, cool. Let me put this thing in writing. I'll send you a DocuSign. Then I'll send you these docs. Then I'll send you all this stuff. And then the person has time to hang up, right? And then they go talk to their other person, and that person's like, no way, we can do this thing for you and discounts or whatever, right? So then there's going to be friction on the back end, right? But if I've already signed to buy the Beamer, right? And then I leave the dealership and I call my wife and she's like, what? Why'd you buy it? Like, I'm sorry, but I already bought it, right? Now I have to just ask for forgiveness, not permission. Or if calls me an hour later, like, no, stop, wait, hold on. There's a special deal. Like, I already bought, like I already signed up, right? So then now I'm emotionally committed to sticking with the decision I just made because I don't want to feel dumb, right? So we need to strike while the iron's hot. So what's a way that we could do that where we could get them going, right? Is it like, so throwing some ideas out there. Having our sign up sheet where it's like, hey, all you got to do is put down $100 deposit and I can save your spot. I can start the process. I can get you in. I won't sell your competitors. I'll start to assign these account managers we talked about, blah, 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 blah. We're going to send you over the docs to finish signing, right? And all the guarantees. But this gets you in and this gets you going, right? And they're like, yeah, cool, sounds good. Like, hey, let me send you the link. There's a link, boom. And so it's like, it's not the whole thing, but it gets them in. They feel like they gave me the card and a purchase got made, a decision got made, right?
Mm-hmm. Like an LOI with a deposit. Like, I intend to work with you. Here's
an LOI with a deposit.
I think in order to get that, you have to have some form of scarcity of some kind. Like just the person would be like, well, why don't I just give you my card after I've thought about it? But if you have some element like, hey, we only do so many deals per month. Our team can only onboard this number of businesses. And we're starting to book up next month too. So we've got this number of slots available. Put a down payment today, then you can think about it. And if you decide not to do it, then we'll refund it. No worries. But if you want to guarantee one of those slots, and I I think we can have true scarcity in reality, because it is just true that there are like onboarding limitations. Our top people only have so many slots available at any given point in time. So that, I think that's also a really, like, when we think about our ICP, what do they want? They want the best people. They don't want to join an agency and get like the C team. They want like the A team. And so I think combining like scarcity with the team that they would get, like, hey, we have one opening with our top team. So if you want to put a down payment, you can secure that. Otherwise, like, you can always buy from us, but like, you know, no guarantee.
I can't guarantee that team will have space left.
Yeah.
Right. That's, so I really like that, Paul. And here's the other thing we can do too. So like, it depends on like my money business owners, I think, versus OPM, but like other people's money, I think that will be a little bit different. But I think exactly that we try to land the plane with like, look, our A team has one spot available, right? Our A team has one spot available, and if you guys sign up and put the deposit down today, I can reserve that spot for you, right? I can reserve that spot for you. If you don't, no worries, right? It's not high pressure. I just can't guarantee that team that would be the perfect team for you is still going to be available, right?
But then what if they don't do it right then and there? Is that you telling them that going to make them think, well, no, I don't want to work with them because now I'm going to get a B team?
So I think it's all going to be how we frame it and all about how we explain it.
Yeah.
Right.
We have to be careful about wording. Like,
think about the Beamer on the lot versus the Beamer you have to order. Hey, Tim, I've got one last car on the lot with that price and that color and whatever. If you don't buy it, we can always order one for you. But it's got to come from Germany. It's going to take 6 months. It'll be the exact car you want, but it's going to take 6 months. So do you want the car now, or do you want to risk waiting till tomorrow, coming back, thinking about it, talking to your wife, that car's gone, and now I got to order one? What do you want to do? Right? And that's like a real thing. In our case, we could say, hey, Danielle, we don't hire low-level people at Helium. Everybody we hire is great. But we still have our top team, and that top team has one spot available, and I'd love to give that to you. But if you wait for 3 or 4 or 5 days, that spot could be gone. I can't hold it for you because I'm going to work together. I can't hold that spot for you. So then I'll have to give you to a different team. Look, there's no team at Helium. Look at our reviews. Our teams are good, but this is the best team for you. Like, this is the perfect thing for you. So I think it's all how we frame it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree that it's like not perfect, because then they're like, wait, so am I going to get the crap team if I sign up in 2 days? Right. Yeah. And you don't want to say yes because then it's like, yeah. The other thing too is like, how long will that work for? The whole scarcity thing. Like, does that work forever? I do want to think through some other ideas.
Well, you can also, the scarcity can evolve as we get bigger. So like, let's just say we said, you know, our team has capacity to onboard 6 clients a month. And our A team has capacity for 2, B team 3, and then 1 for the C team. I don't know, like, we could come up with the numbers. But as we grow and as we expand the team, we could up those, you know, we could up what we could take on, especially if we're more profitable and stuff too. So like, they can always change.
I have a couple ideas too. Okay, I just thought about these. Urgency comes from, there's something you would lose if you don't decide quickly, right? Right. So here's what I just thought about. We have actually some levers we can pull. I like the team one. The problem I have with the team one is it's squishy, because if the A team actually does fill up, then we have to give them the B team. We promise them the A team. Like, can we always deliver on that? I don't know. Sometimes yes, probably sometimes no. What we could do is we could say, so we have the Volcano guarantee and the 6X guarantee, right? Those are 2 things I think people really want. We could use those as leverage, right? We could say, hey, so if you sign up, and we tell them like, it's going to be a proposal meeting. We're gonna ask for the business, right? So come prepared to make a decision. We're going to roll out pricing and right. And so we could tell them, hey, if you guys are in and you're like, guys, let's freaking do this. Let's solve our SEO problems. I'm tired of ranking on page 30. No one finds us. I want to solve this. Awesome, man. We want to help you solve this too. Well, hey, here's what I can offer. So here's our price, blah, 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 blah. Hey, here's our 2 guarantees. if you sign up today and you put the deposit down, right? You don't have to start tomorrow, but you put the deposit down, which means I'm ready to work together. We'll send you your docs and whatever, blah, blah, blah. You can get both of these guarantees. You will get both these guarantees for no extra cost, right? Hey, if you're like, I got to think about it, right? Totally cool. You'll get the volcano guarantee, but you don't get the 6X guarantee, right? The 6X guarantee is a special guarantee that goes for people who are like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to make a decision. Let's do this thing, right? But if I got to chase you down for 45 days to get a deal done, you don't get that guarantee. You can pay for that guarantee. We put a price tag on that guarantee and say, you can pay for this guarantee to like make sure we get this. But if you sign up today and you close today, I'll actually give that guarantee for free. We'll waive the cost of that. Ooh, that's a cool idea. I like that. We could also have priority kickoffs. We could say, hey, it like takes 2 weeks to kick off normally because we're like really backed up right now. But if you guys decide today on the call, I can get you kicked off in 3 days. So we could even do that too. So those are some like other ways.
I think the one piece we should. So I like all of that and really like the idea of leveraging the offers as a scarcity thing. The question would just be like, how often can the person on the call like physically not make the decision? And maybe that's a failure point because of the rep not getting the true decision makers on the proposal call. So maybe we first solve that. Like the rep tries to get the decision makers on the call. But like someone might love that, but then they might be like, well, technically it's not my final decision, so I can't get that. But maybe that adds some urgency for them to get that final decision maker to make a decision. So maybe it's like, hey, if you get back to us by tomorrow, so we know you have to go talk to your CFO, your controller, and you can tell them about these offers that we have, but just know like, we need a decision fast in order for us to act on this stuff. Talk to him tomorrow, schedule that meeting. If it's still a no problem. We can take our time with this, but you'll lose those 2 offers. I think something like that to work. I think like if it's like a decision on the call, that could work for my money clients, but for OPMs, that like it could just be that they cannot say yes. Like they could get in trouble for saying yes without approval. So, but you could still, I'd say, create the scarcity, anchoring all that stuff. Like, but say like, if you get back to us by this date, which could be tomorrow, 2 days later, that could solve for the OPM case. So I really like using those. I think just a decision on the call could be tough for the OPM.
Well, you could do with the OPMs. If they can't do it right on the call, if they could get the documents signed, like within like a 24 to 48 hour period by whoever needs to sign.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like go like because like the big thing too is like I've been in this position before too, where I'm not going to agree to something until I have, had either conversations with Tim or Sean or whoever's like, or Josh, like whoever's the most pertinent, and I'm not going to make that decision on the call. And if you pressure me too much, it's going to be a red flag in my mind. But if you said, hey, to get this offer, if you get back to me in 48 hours, then I'm probably more incentivized if the offer is really good to like go have those conversations right away. Yeah. If you don't create that scarcity, I could be like, okay, I'll schedule something with Josh like 10 days from now. And this is how deals like slowly dissipate. Like my interest level gets less interest. Like I don't even feel like at 10 days later, I'm like, do I even want to like talk to Tim and Josh about this anymore? Like,
I know it just dies. And that's what we have to teach the sales reps to overcome. I have a couple thoughts on that. Just like hearing you talk through it, this is actually helpful because it makes me think through how to handle this. So for OPMs, Paul, or people where there's multiple decision makers, but we can't get them all on the call. I have an idea. We have the volcano guarantee. So like what I said this happened on Friday with Vincent. So like, hey, can you send me movers you worked with? Right. And I'm like, I know we have movers as clients. I know we've had wins for movers, but I don't know those off the top of my head. We have too many clients. I don't know which ones there are. I have to go check with our team. And now it's Friday. I'm still at the office. It's Friday at 7:20 or something, right? No one else is working. So I'm like, I won't be able to get those right now. So then here's what I did. So then he texted me, and he had looked at the DocuSign. He's like, hey, I want to see the moving case studies before I sign. Okay. So he had some pre-buyer's remorse. And so here's how I handled it. I said, hey man, I was like, 100% understand. Like, I don't need to win the argument, right? Let them win the argument, but I also need to get a decision made. So I said, hey man, totally get it. Hey, here's what we can do. I can't schedule your kickoff and get this stuff moving like we want to do without a signed contract. But we have this volcano guarantee, right? It's unconditional 30-day money back guarantee. Why don't we just do this? Sign the docs. Let's get your kickoff scheduled. Let's get you going. I'll send you our mover case studies. And if you hate it and you're like, this is trash, you guys don't know what you're doing, you can cancel at any time and we'll refund your money. You're not stuck. And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, let's just do that. So they signed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Right.
That's
and so
amazing. Yeah.
Exactly, because it was that last moment of fear of like, oh, I'm not sure. And it's like, you can give it back.
That's what the offer's for. I mean, he's concerned about like buyer's remorse basically. And
that's exactly right.
Is there to prevent that. So, and we do have a lot of mover case studies, but I couldn't even think of those off the top of my head. I shouldn't say these.
Yeah. But like the company name, right? And I know we have them. So what if so for OPMs, Paul, think about this. So what if let's like role play with you and me real quick. So I'm trying to sell you something. You're going to want to talk to Josh or Sean or whatever. Hey, Paul, so you're like super busy guy, right? Like you're a CTO, like you have all these meetings. The last thing you want is for me to bam fam you, book a meeting for a meeting, make you keep meeting with me. Then you got to go chase your guys down internally. Like you're going to have to go talk to them anyway. Like I totally get that. But Paul, just like, and shoot me straight here. Do you really want me to have to meet with you again, try to go through this whole process? Or do you want to just be able to make the decision and be done either to, I want to do this or I don't want to do this? Like, would that be your preference?
Oh yeah. I'd rather just like this. I don't think we need more meetings at this point. Like I understand.
Like you like me, but you don't like me that much where you want to have to keep meeting with me, right? Like, dude, I get it.
Yeah.
You want to spend time with your wife or doing other stuff. Dude, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, so what about this? What about this? Tell me if this doesn't make your life easier. We've got a 30-day unconditional money back guarantee. So instead of me having to meet with you again, why don't we tell me if this works for you? I've got a sign up deposit. It's $100. Gets you in the process. Okay. Why don't we just knock this out today? And here's what I can do. I can get your thing started, get the process going. It's $100. It's completely refundable. So now I don't have to meet with you again. We don't have to meet again and sell on the whole thing. You've decided, hey, I think I like this enough to get going. But if you got to go meet with Josh, you said your controller, right? So now you've made that decision. If you go meet with Josh and you guys decide, nope, didn't think about that. I actually totally don't want this, and here's these reasons, and like whatever, right? You can just literally email me back. We'll tear up the contract, and you're good to go. We don't have to meet another time. We don't have to like chase it around, and then you can take the time you need to go meet with Josh. But then you're not then waiting, and then stuff's not starting, and we don't even have to meet a second time. That saves you a whole nother meeting, and you got nothing to lose. We just save time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that works for me.
So we could use that with our OPMs and say like, hey, so I know you need to check with your boss, right? I do need to check with my boss. Okay. But do you think your boss would want you to lose this offer, this free offer, or this, whatever the scarcity thing is? Do you think they would want that? No, I don't think they would want that at all. Okay. Well, here's the great news. I don't want you to get in trouble, but also you don't want to waste time, and you need to solve this problem, and your boss probably wants you to save the company money, right? Totally. Well, then here's what we can do. And then we do the same thing. Hey, if you sign up today, you get this special offer, right? But if you go talk to your boss and they hate it and you're going to be in trouble, 100% refundable, money back. I don't want you to get in trouble. We'll tear up the contract. Don't worry, we'll take care of you, right? So we could do that, which totally removes the pressure. So then they're like, hey, I put down a free deposit to save our space. But if you hate this for some reason, then I think they're more emotionally invested because they're like, oh man, I'm getting a good deal. I already want it. So
do you think that you also set a time limit on that? So like you say $100, but we need that book. We need a final, like we need the go ahead in 48 hours. that way they don't like punt the conversation with the controller till the next week. And I do think the $100 is such an investment where they're going to like get that decision to you quickly.
Oh yeah, so good question. So in my mind, we're closing the sale then. So it's $100 deposit. They put the deposit in, and then we say, I'm reserving your kickoff. What date are we going to kick off? And then they pick their kickoff, and then in the documents it says you'll be billed at kickoff, the remaining amount or whatever, right? So then imagine that it's like, so then when they pick their kickoff date, they have until that date to decide or they're going to get billed.
Oh, I like that. Yeah,
right?
I like that, yeah.
Right. So then it's like, yeah, you signed for the car, but it's going to come in a week and then you got to pay or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So then we could do it that way. What do you think would work the best for scarcity? Giving the offers as like they have cost, or you get those for free. A special kickoff, like saying that we only, like what we could do is be like, we only kick off clients on the first of the month, right? But if you guys sign up today, I can actually kick you off in the next 5 days. So then it makes the kickoff not look like, wow, it's only 5 days. Why not tomorrow? It makes it look really good.
The absolute best thing would be if the sales rep could kind of try to match the scarcity to what they think the client, the prospect values. So if they're having a conversation, the person's like, we need to move fast, we need to fix this like yesterday, then, a scarcity thing around like kickoff. And I agree with Ramosi that we should really try to align the scarcity with like true numbers and operational things. Just people will read through that if it's just like false scarcity.
Yeah, I agree.
Over time. So, but I think kickoff, like how fast can we kick off, is definitely one of the ones that we can have in the toolkit. I think the team availability could be one. And that, like, imagine you're in the conversation and they're talking about like, well, we like you, but like, what if like when we start working with your team, we're like, this person isn't the same level. Like we've had these bad experiences before where we've had these, really great sales calls that we get passed up, some we're not happy about. Well, then, the most powerful scarcity in that moment would be, hey, we've got someone on our team that is on our A team that could be available, but they, we're selling deals fast. Like we could like secure them for you if you're willing to make a commitment today. So I think like if we could map them, that would be the best, but that adds some complexity and some thinking and some decision making. And so we may want to pick more of like a default simpler one, to not add too much complexity.
Well, if we do our closing framework correctly, one thing that we should be doing is we should be getting people to decide at the end of the meeting, like, I do want to fix this, or I don't care about fixing this, right? So we should be able to get people to decide. And then, and like, we should be driving towards the objective of what they want. And then how do we get it closed? I think we're going to have to play around with some of these, but what I'll do, I wrote some of these down. I'll think about it a little bit more. I'll also brainstorm today I have a sales meeting in like 10 minutes. I'll brainstorm with the sales team too, if they have any other scarcity ideas of things people have really said they wanted. Like, oh, can you give me this? Like, I want a certain DSC, right? That specializes in my space, or I want this certain thing here. I want this certain thing here, or whatever. Or it could even be another free gift we offer, like the liftoff framework or something. We could give them that for free if they sign today, versus we don't give that for free. There could be extra fees or costs in there that we give away. We give them for free if they sign today. I don't know. Let's think through what would create the best scarcity, like the most, right? Let's think through what that is. Ooh. Oh, that's actually interesting. What we could do, the volcano guarantee, the volcano guarantee could get worse and worse over time, right? So, for example,
it could start out as a volcano that could turn into a swimming. It could turn into like a
geyser, and then eventually
it's a
molehill. It's like a little. It's like a little.
If you wouldn't step in this puddle and turn away.
Yeah. If you wouldn't hug your own grandma to get this again, then we'll refund it for free. And they're like, what? I would hug my grandma. Well, the offer took 12 months to decide, right? Because you're one undecided like MFer. Yeah. Man, you could not close a door if it was the door to your own bedroom. Yeah. Well, so what if we said, so then we pre-plan, like, or we not pre-plan, we anchor people ahead of time, like there's going to be a decision we're going to ask you to make on the call when you run the pricing to decide if you guys want to do this or not, right? Because we don't want to waste your time or mine, right? And then we roll it out and we say, hey, today, if you decide on the call, today, here's what the offers are today. And here's what our process is. You get the volcano, you get the 6X, you get all these things. And we want to make sure that this is a huge win for you. Today, right? Hey, can you decide today to do this? And they say, no, I got to talk to my spouse. I got to talk to my business partner. I got to whatever the thing is. Okay, totally get it. Well, here's my ask, right? Do you want us to meet with you 12 more times and chase you down and blah, 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 blah? Or would you rather put $100 down, sign up and say, yep, let's do it. Knowing you have a 30 days, you have a 30-day window to go back, and if you talk to the business partner and they totally don't want to do it and this and this and this and this, right? We can tear up the contract, right? We'll tear up the contract. You got 30-day. So you're not stuck. But if you sign up today, I'll give you all, you get all these benefits, right? Then what we could say is, if you can't sign up today, no worries. The volcano goes from within the 6 months, it goes to within the first 30 days, right? And then it eventually becomes just the first 7 days or something, right?
Yeah.
So it just keeps getting worse or something. So that's another way we could do it, is the volcano guarantee just keeps getting worse the longer you take to decide.
No, I like that. Yeah. I think the question that I would ask on the other side of that is like, why does it get worse? So we just have to have
because I don't like you as much. No, I was kidding. Yeah.
Well, it's true.
Yeah. Because I had to chase you for 4 months. Yeah. Why? Like,
well, actually,
why does it get worse?
No, you're right. Because the chasing, like, it costs us money to have more meetings to like hunt you down. So, you're saving us money. And so like, you understand business, you're saving us money.
Costs more money.
It's a better offer. It costs more money. Yeah.
I got to chase you down.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I answered my own question. Yeah.
No, it's good. I agree with you though, but like, and you're right. It needs to be something we can defend that makes sense too. Cause they're like, wait, what? This like scarcity of like some BS reason. We're like, well, that doesn't even make sense. I don't believe you. Right.
It might actually work better than, I mean, like one thing Hormozy said, and I think he gets this from the book Influence or whatever, is like,
oh yeah,
no matter what, like just giving a reason is often enough. So like if you cut someone in line and they're like, why did you just cut me? And you say like, well, my toe is like really hurting. And they're like, okay, fine. Or you say, oh, like, I have to buy this before 3 p.m. And they're like, okay, fine. Most of the time, just a reason is enough. It doesn't even have to make any sense. So I think like that's going to be a good chunk of those cases.
Let's be thinking through this week and try to come up with a scarcity offer that's really good, that is evergreen, right? I agree with the matching the scarcity thing the client wants most. I think that does add some complexity. I think the problem with offering the best team is that's not always going to be something we can truly offer, right? Or people might see through that. Or then they talk to their friend, and their friend's like, oh, they offered me the best team, right? They're like, they offered me the same thing too. And if that gets out, and scale, that could seem like a BS thing or whatever. So yeah, we should think through that. We can only kick off so many people. That's one thing as well too. Yeah, let me think about how we could do that. Good. This is great, guys. I got to jump. I got to go run another meeting. Super helpful data. So I think some takeaways.
Yep.
Paul, so Danielle, if you can on your end execute those things in HubSpot for the meetings, like to make sure we have some kind of setup frameworks, that'd be good. Paul, whatever we can be doing to feedback data to get more of the high quality leads. I'll keep working with our team on close rate, but I think just more higher quality leads and just more leads in total, but more high quality leads and fewer of the low quality leads, that will help a ton.
Yep.
And then I'll be working with the team really heavily over the next several months on closing ratio, like close rate. And then I'll play around with some of my leads on all these different offers and scarcity and whatever we can do to make the deal, get the deal done.
I think right now though, for close rate, like the offers and using those to get a decision fast is going to be one of the most powerful ways to like get deals closed faster. So all this stuff we're discussing around that, I feel like the sales reps could implement today and it would probably improve close rate a lot.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We got to jump and go run some business. We got to go make some money. You guys go do the same.